Welcome to the Resilient Rebel Show. My name is Elian Haan. If you're exhausted from holding it all together, you're anxious, you're feeling stuck in a cycle of burnout, self-doubt, or maybe you're waiting for that someday, you're in the right place. This is where we stop apologizing for who we are, start telling the truth, and take our power back. One bold, messy, beautiful step at a time. You belong here. Let's rise, rebel, and rediscover joy together. Welcome to today's episode of the Resilient Rebel Show. I'm glad you're here. Real talk, right? We're going to have real tools today for this topic, anxiety, that I always speak about in the seasonal month of October, November, December. I love this topic and there's lots to talk about always. So welcome today. We're going to do some real talk. We're going to do some radical healing. And we're going to show again some remarkable resilience. I am your host, Elian Haan. I'm a trauma-informed executive coach, and I am a believer, absolutely, that healing and high performance can coexist. So we're working today a little bit on a topic, of course, like I said, anxiety, that we all struggle with around this time of the year. I call that the seasonal mess, the seasonal stress, right? And we talk about what it really is and how it shows up and how you can start to work with it instead of feeling that you need to fight it. So let's take a deep breath together and let's settle in and get real. Here is your truth of today. Anxiety is not really a flaw. It's just a function. It's just a function of your body. It's your body's natural alarm system. It's designed to protect you from danger. And when your nervous system is sensing a threat, whether it's a car swerving towards you or a tough conversation that you need to have and that you're avoiding, your body is sending you signals to get ready for this, like a faster heartbeat, tight muscles. Sometimes you start to sweat. Sometimes you feel that you have really shallow breathing. It's all these hyper symptoms that your body is giving you, right? Your body is saying, I got you. I'm ready to act. It's really just a form of feeling anxious. It's not necessarily, like I like to say, uh, um, something for life, right? You have anxiety. You're just feeling anxious in a moment. And I always say that can be exciting anxiety and it can be the nerve-wracking anxiety where you feel that you're worn out and tired of all these physical symptoms that you're feeling. Your body is going into several responses, and the most known is the fight or the flight response, which is very normal as well, right? You really want to just kind of run away or you want to fight it. And it's been keeping us humans alive since the beginning of time, these responses. In our modern world, that alarm goes off for things like work emails, social media, deadlines, all the stress that comes with being a mom, being in daily life, the things we have to do, the groceries that need to be done after work, all our social calendars, all that stuff that we try to keep up with. Because our body can really tell the difference between that lion or a late report, we end up in that chronic overdrive all the time. And nowadays, believe me, it's a lot worse than what we used to feel. Let's draw a quick line here. So fear is really your immediate response, and there is a clear threat right in front of you. That's when you feel fear. Anxiety is more anticipatory. If your brain is worrying about something that might happen, you go into that fearful state, but it kind of prepares you, that sort of anxiety state prepares you for what is to come. And I posted about that last week. I said something that it is your perception, it is your state of mind, it is your thinking that things that you are not able to handle what is in front of you. And that is what anxiety really feels like. And when you turn that preparation into an obsession, then it's really time to recalibrate. It's really time to reset your thinking and reset and try to get the coping skills in place to get your body into a less anxious state, right? So the continuum of anxiety is really living in that spectrum where you're constantly going into full-blown feelings of anxiousness. And that goes, sometimes it's a mild worry, sometimes it's just that go, go, go all the time. A little, like I said, a little, as I call that, anxiety before a presentation, that exciting anxiety, that's normal. If I go on stage to speak to a lot of people or I do a big webinar, I'm a little nervous, right? That's normal. I feel that stress, I feel that flushing feeling. I think that that I forgot everything that I needed to know. And you get those constant racing thoughts and sleepless nights if that system doesn't turn off. That's when that anxiety has moved just from a messenger to master, mastering over you. And you don't have to live there. It becomes your master. You start living in that constant state. And it's not also in your head, right? I talk about it a lot. It's also in your body. Again, you might feel all these anxious symptoms, the heartbeat, the tightness in the shoulders. That's usually what I see with my clients, right? Right here, your shoulders, they're really high by your ears. A lot of tension in the neck. Everybody tells me, I feel it in my upper back. I feel it in my neck. I feel it in my body. I'm just so tired everywhere. I can't sleep. I constantly feel tired. Or I feel that really that big pit in my stomach, that nauseated feeling constantly. Or even when it becomes a little chronic over time, you feel that you're always feeling that back pain. You always feel that fatigue in your spine. You feel that fatigue in your back muscles. You feel that you're tight. Mentally, it shows up as looping thoughts, ruminating thoughts, overthinking, the classic what if. Again, you're thinking that what if something happens, I am probably not going to be able to handle it. And that causes these feelings. When you recognize both as physical and physiological, then you can start to regulate both systems. Movement, breath work, and mindfulness, they all help to reset that over alerts, that overactive alert system, that alarm system. All these things that I usually teach in my somatic work is breathing, is meditation, is mindfulness, which is not the same. Mindfulness is not the same as meditation. Mindfulness is something completely different that we will talk about another time. But to become mindful, to do that through meditation, that's very possible. And definitely exercise, of course, helps. Journaling, walking, listening to music, all that helps to calm us down. Those are all great coping skills. At its heart, anxiety carries emotions that are definitely recognizable for us, right? It's apprehension, it's unease, it's nervousness, it's the dread of having to face something that is about to come. Often it's not about the present, it's definitely not about today. It is just your nervous system remembering maybe something that we went through, maybe an old experience, maybe something in the past, and it's trying to protect you again. It's just again, it's that warning system, that alertness. Your body and your mind are trying to warn you for something that they recognize that happened to you before. That's why these trauma informed awareness, that trauma awareness, that what is going on in the past might happen again, is key here. Instead of judging the anxiety, we can just ask us, what are you trying to tell me? I know there were some pain points there before. I know I went through that trauma. I went through that awful state of mind. I went through that depression. I went through those hard years. What are you trying to tell me right now that is an indication that this might be ahead of me again? And what do I need right now to feel safe again? What do I need? What is my body trying to tell me? And what do I need to feel safe? And when you listen with compassion for yourself, instead of trying to control it immediately, if you just listen with compassion, that healing can begin. Because now you have this awareness, you know where you are, you feel it, you recognize it. And that awareness is usually the beginning for healing. that big first step where we know that we have to take a step back, just start breathing and doing some, like I said, meditation or mindfulness exercises that will get you back to that place of, oh, okay, I feel this. And now I have the coping skills, I have the tools in place to really just start with this really strong feeling of control. I can handle it, to where then you step into that new situation. If you have that chronic anxiety that just keeps coming and keeps coming and keeps coming in your work, in your relationships, in your health, in your creativity, it can make you second guess every decision that you take. It can isolate you from others and you feel constantly on edge. And if you're living like this for years, you are not really broken, you're just really burned out. And that's where that burnout feeling comes in. I recognize that. I talk about it a lot. I've been in that situation of being completely burned out and not even recognizing it in the beginning, right? But always feeling on edge, feeling tired a lot, and just trying to more and more isolate from others, second guessing yourself, second guessing the things that you have to do to heal. You're just not believing it anymore. Your system has been trying to protect you for so long that you need to give it permission to rest and to step out of this equation, step out of this work situation, step out of this relationship, maybe. You really have to make a decision right there to stop and to recognize that burnout. Sometimes if we linger too long, anxiety disorders are just known globally right now, right? In the mental health world. You can recognize globally generalized anxiety disorder when you constantly have excessive worry about daily life. Excessively, you worry about anything and everything. You might have social anxiety disorder, fear of judgment, fear of embarrassment in social situations that isolates you at some point because you don't want to go out anymore, because you're constantly feeling the pressure of expectations or the pressure of judgment, and you are in fear of that. You might have a panic disorder where you feel sudden, intense panic attacks that can feel like a heart attack, and you can't breathe and you fall down to the floor and you really feel dizzy and it's hard to get back up. All these anxiety, common anxiety disorders, they're all treatable. But of course, you have to have the willingness to do that. You can go through therapy, you can go through coaching. We'll give you nervous system regulation tools. We'll give you breath work, trauma-informed coaching. You can retrain your thinking and you can train your body. You can actually acknowledge that you have it, that you suffer from it, but then start making the right steps towards healing. So there's a lot of misconceptions that you can't overcome anxiety. Yes, you can. It is absolutely treatable. And another myth is that anxiety is a weakness. Absolutely not. It is overprotection, just for you, just for you. And also sometimes people will tell you you can snap out of it. Well, that's not really true. You can work through it, but you cannot just wish it away. It doesn't, panic attack doesn't go away. You have to recognize where it's coming from, what is causing it, what are the deeper layers. We have to start peeling those layers away. And sometimes people will tell you it's all in your head. And that is definitely not true, because nowadays, over the last 3 decades, we recognize that it's definitely in your body too. Your body keeps the score. Your body is right there and responding to this stress, responding to this anxiety. So when we remove the shame about it, right, we can create the space for change, which is very important. That you recognize it, you remove the shame about, yeah, I can snap out of it. Yeah, it's just a weakness. It's all in my head. No, it's not. And we have to remove these thoughts so that we can create that space for change. This is what I want you to feel today. Anxiety is information. It is not your identity. I definitely want you to walk away with that. Anxiety is information, it is not your identity. It is your body whispering, hey, something feels off. And when you slow down and listen, you can respond with regulation and not reaction. In our next episode, we're going to unpack what actually happens in your brain, in your body during an anxiety attack, and how to stop that stress loop before it spirals. I hope you will reach out to me. I have lots of giveaways on my website, alienhand.net. There are some tools there that you can use. There's lots of stuff on my YouTube channel that you can use when it comes to emotion regulation and when it comes to those signals that your body is giving you when you're feeling anxious. So it is a feeling anxious and it's not a life thing, right? You're not going to have anxiety for life. This is treatable. How can you be compassionate for yourself? How can you feel in control the next time when you feel a little anxious? Reach out to me anytime and let me know how you're doing. I hope to see you next time. Thank you so much for listening today. And I really appreciate and love you. Thank you.